and welcome to another episode of Bill Has Opinions, the drinking show with a political problem. I am Laura LaVoy, and I'm here with Bill Perkins, who has opinions.
Hi, yeah, I got 99 problems in politics, or most of them.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I want to point out I did make the little title card, Bill Has Alternative Facts.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly because isn't that what an opinion is?
Yeah, essentially it is.
Don't think that we're on that side of politics, but I thought it was funny.
And if what side of politics I'm on matters to you, then this show is probably going to upset you.
That's fair. That's fair.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
So anyway, we're here live with a new episode. What you been up to? And we didn't have an episode last week because it was Halloween night.
Yeah. I saw a couple of, what were titled ostensibly horror movies, but they weren't really. And then what? Since then, it got unseasonably warm. It
got stupid hot here in Western North Carolina for a few days.
Yeah, I saw a thing today. It said I hear my kids outside talking about when I get older, and I'm like, sweetie, it's 75 in November.
It's not happening. That's just not happening at all. We went to Halloween night. We did a little trick-or-treating situation like we do here in the neighborhood. That was fun. It was actually a beautiful night that night.
Did you say mini taffies?
Actually, I think there are. I do actually believe there are taffies
awesome.
Available for you. So check
I didn't get a lot of taffy tacks this year. I stole a few Halloween night, or I don't know. So salute to the town I live in. It's a small town. They do some crap pre-Halloween, like I want to say the Friday night they had a Halloween stroll or something.
Right.
And I think maybe that night was the night I rifled through everyone's bags and stole their taffies and their Sour Patch whatevers.
Right, exactly.
That's the kind of stuff I like, the sour candies myself.
Oh, so. We got a whole bunch of those because we bought 2 bags of chocolate type candies and then 1 bag of the sugary soury type candies.
Okay.
And I don't prefer those, so I've been eating all the chocolate candies, so we're almost out of that.
I got you.
Actually, that we have any leftovers is pretty impressive, to be fair. We actually did have a really good turnout. We just happened to have leftovers, too.
Oh, nice.
Maybe overbought, I guess.
Maybe.
But speaking of, one of the things we do in our local trick-or-treating is we provide treats for adults.
Oh, nice.
Here too. So I gave you we had some leftovers. I gave you one.
Mm-hmm.
This here, if you want to try this is a Jell-O shot.
Okay.
I learned a formula to turn any drink into a Jell-O shot. So this is a dark and stormy.
Okay.
So give that you can smell it, right?
Yeah, it smells delicious.
Here's the problem with Jell-O shots is that there's no way to be graceful eating it. Yeah, dead air while we eat it.
Mm-hmm.
That is not for good podcasting.
No. What flavor Jell-O do you use for that?
Just plain.
Just
gelatin flavored Jell-O.
Gelatin flavor. Okay. I was trying to figure that out. I was like, what was this?
No, so you got the it's basically rum, ginger beer, and lime.
It is very good.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. We gave away quite a few of them.
I mean, yeah. It actually is very similar. Ginger's Revenge had a agave lime ginger beer over the summer that I drank. Actually, I don't drink a lot of their stuff. They're usually on the cider tap, Purple Onion, but I did drink that one. If I see that one on there, I'm like, okay, I'll have one of those.
Well, you add a little rum into that, and you've got a dark and stormy. So, straight up.
Yeah.
All right, but speaking of, what else are we drinking? Okay.
Oh gosh,
we got a smorgasbord.
We went crazy. I was at the bottle shop on Saturday, and on Saturday it was actually cold and rainy, so I was feeling wintry, and I bought this guy, which is Pipeworks Spice Latte, pumpkin spice latte out of
Pennsylvania. Did it say? No, maybe not. I don't remember where it said. I thought I looked, but I may have looked.
Oh, also, I'll tell you something else that happened to me during the week is I went to the eye doctor and got eye exam, and I've ordered glasses, but they haven't come yet.
Oh, so now you're looking at the You want me to?
So now I can't see shit. You know, I'm blind as hell. No, I'm
okay.
not.
I see a lot of other things that don't tell me.
It doesn't tell you anywhere where pipe works.
Chicago, Illinois.
How about that?
How about that?
Uh-oh. Hit the thing.
Oh, wait. Where is Chicago, Illinois? This came from the Midwest. I was particularly enamored by the fact that the latte art on it was a unicorn.
Yeah.
And we were speculating like if that was their logo, but it's not, because that's their logo. So we don't know why there's a unicorn. If anybody at Pipeworks can explain to us. I mean, I like unicorns, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I know.
But here's the thing.
I caught a unicorn Pokemon the other day and I sent her a picture.
Yeah.
She'll dig this.
I said, was that the last one? Is
last one I caught.
That's a joke that if you understand, please let me know in comments. If you do not, just let that one go, I guess. But so we're drinking this. It's growing on me.
Is it?
Although now I've had that Jello shot, so.
Oh.
So it is. So here's what's unique about it. It is a pumpkin spice beer, which of course we've extolled on the show many times. But it is also a coffee beer.
Yeah.
And I don't always like coffee beers, but there are some of them that I do. There was one that was made by Appalachian Mountain Brewing in collaboration with Fanta Flora that is still to this day like one of my holy grails, but they stopped making it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one of my favorite beers. It was so delicious. It was an IPA that was made with coffee.
You know what? This one reminds me of that the one that Catawba makes, the Evening Joe.
Mm-hmm. But with a little pumpkin spice.
With a little pumpkin. It's like an Evening Joe with a little pumpkin spice in it.
That's exactly what it is. I don't absolutely hate it. I probably wouldn't drink any more than this.
Yeah.
Like, this is enough for me.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't buy a whole 6 of them or anything.
And I'm fine with that. And then you also have another beer over there that you poured yourself.
I did. I poured myself a Rogue Hazelnut Brown, which
I like their new design. This is one of their original beers, but
yeah, they've had this beer forever. I say this beer this is a beer that tastes like Dr. Pepper, basically, to me. Like that's what I think it. Well, actually, no, sorry, it's the hazelnut porter that tastes like Dr. Pepper.
True. This is their brown ale.
This is the brown, so it's a little sweeter than the porter, but it's okay. It's still good.
And then I have not poured mine yet, but when I am done with this, I have the standby Gaelic ale.
And I started with a couple of those pre-game.
I mean, so did I. But
yeah, we both pre-game with some Gaelics.
Yeah.
So
that's what we do to bring this show to you, folks. You don't want to sober by any means.
You don't. We gotta. It's like bowling. Like you gotta have a 2 beer buzz before we start.
Yeah, nobody's good at bowling until they've been drinking. Like that's just an absolute fact. I know because I'm from the Midwest, so I understand how that works. Like even when I was bowling as a kid, I would have to have
George Pappas would tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. We should have a bowling. Actually, we should have a bowling episode one day at a bowling alley. And actually play like we need
oh gosh,
there's a lot of moving parts to that episode, but we need a cameraman and a whole
we just put the laptop on the little table behind so it aims
aims it, and then we talk to it while we're not bowling, and then other people bowl.
Yeah.
And I'm actually for this. I think we'll
have to do this at some point.
We will.
The Bill Has Opinions bowling special.
All right. Just hold us to this, people, because this sounds like fun in the moment. Right now, it sounds like a lot of fun. When we try to figure out the logistics of it, we're going to be like, what were we thinking?
Right? What craziness was this?
What craziness. All right. So, of course, today, all of our episodes are very special. But today is a very special episode because tomorrow is Election Day in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
We find out this is not the presidential election, of course.
No.
This is midterms. So we find
out whether the president's agenda is going to go forward or not.
Right,
basically.
Right. So we find out, who gets elected to Congress and the House and a shit ton of local elections.
Oh, my gosh.
Which are, by the way, I mean, we can get into this, but I think local elections are as important, if not more, than federal elections.
They are, although some of them in my district were like... Which I fucking hate that. We'll get to that. We'll come back around to it.
All right. Well, let's start out, though, with a little bit of a monologue. I have our monologue listed as Election Day 2022, but why don't you just regale our viewers with whatever the shit you want to talk about?
Yeah, why don't I? I'll talk about I want to go back in the Wayback Machine. I want to talk about the first election I was able to vote in, which was in 96.
Sure.
No, 92. Sorry, 92.
Okay.
92.
Oh, right. Yes,
Right,
yes.
92.
That makes sense.
Sorry. Yes.
I could not.
I knew
I'm a
it
year
was
younger
the
than
year I
you.
graduated from something.
Yeah.
It was high school, not college. I was 18 in 92. I was able to vote. It was the presidential election where it was Bush and Clinton and Perot. If you remember that correctly.
So who could he's somebody who's putting gonorrhea in our sandwiches. Oh wait, no, that was actually a Saturday Night Live spoof.
Okay.
It was a
everything I know about Perot I is based on a parody of him probably.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, the gonorrhea in our sandwiches was totally a Saturday Night Live thing. You can't
make what is it? You can't make a chicken salad out of chicken shit, or something. It wouldn't be prudent. No.
No,
wait, that was but Dana Carvey did both characters.
That's true. Yeah.
So it was like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm that mixed up. No, what was that? Can I finish? Can I finish? That's the one. That was the Ross Perot.
Yes.
No, but Ross Perot was like sort of a early QAnon sort of kook.
Yeah, if only we knew, like at the time. Yeah, but I mean that was literally the joke.
He was sort of that guy, He was the planting the seed for today's bullshit.
That was they're putting gonorrhea in our sandwiches.
Right.
I mean, that was the joke. That was the Saturday Night Live joke, but that's who that guy was.
But he said all kind of crazy bullshit. Like he thought, the Bush family was like tapping his phone lines and blah, 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 and all this shit. And you were just like, Jesus Christ, man, shut the fuck up. Like you were out of your mind. Mm. Like I listen, if you've ever known anybody who's got bipolar disorder, you know it when you fucking hear it. Okay. Yeah. And 90% of the shit that I hear out of conspiracy theorists, I'm like, I know bipolar when I hear it.
Untreated bipolar disorder. Yeah, this is why we need to normalize mental health issues, right? Like, let's not make this. Why is it a conspiracy theory? Let's actually get help for the things that are the problem.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I always felt like with Ross Perot when he first hit the scene. I was like, Jesus, this guy's nuts. I wasn't a big fan of Bush for reasons. Sure. And I wasn't a big fan of Clinton. So I'll tell you, in that election, I actually voted for some crazy third party. I think I voted
fourth party.
So, yeah, there's some fourth party. I voted for who was it? It was Jesus Christ. It was some sort of like socialist party or something.
I actually don't, because that was I couldn't vote yet. I mean, you're younger than you.
I could vote, but basically I didn't like any of the major parties that were any of the players at hand. And I wanted to be able to basically at the end of it all to go, well, it wasn't me.
Yeah, exactly.
So I wanted to absolve myself, so I voted for some crazy third party that I don't even know if I knew their platform.
Sure.
I mean, honest to God,
it just wasn't any of those three people.
It could have been. It could have been something that I would be ashamed of had I known, But I was just like, whatever that is, that's whatever. Sounds good. That's what I did. If I'd had my way, that I would have voted for. There was this guy, Bo Gritz. Actually, in retrospect, I don't like him because he was kind of like a Trump sort of populist.
Mm-hmm. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. He was supposedly he's partially what Rambo is based on.
Yeah.
He had gone like to Vietnam to rescue a bunch of POWs and shit like that. But he's very sort of right-wing libertarian, like something that I don't really like philosophically agree with, but he was, I don't know, like he was that like out of the wacko, out of, like I knew he wasn't going to win, so I would have voted for him too. He was running in the Midwest. I don't think he wasn't on the ballot in South Carolina.
Right.
And I was voting by absentee ballot from South Carolina, even though I was in Chicago
because
at the time.
You were, yes.
Because I was a college student.
Yes.
And he was not on the South Carolina ballot, so I picked, I want to say her name was something like Ferrara or something, but she was.
Yeah, no, Ferrara was an actual candidate a few years before that, because she ran with, no, the name is on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, Mondale.
Not that person. No, sorry, it was something like that though, and I think she was a socialist or something. I don't remember the fuck what. Anyway, it was one of the two third parties that were allowed on the South Carolina ballot.
Sure.
I was like, okay, whatever, fuck it, that's good, and I voted for that. Anyway, yeah. It's always funny to me to see, because you'll have these like these parties. And I'm saying this. I don't usually vote third party. That's probably the one time I've ever voted third party. Aside from small election down ballot stuff. But because I do consider myself an independent.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Me
right?
too.
I mostly vote Democrat, but I consider myself an independent.
Yeah.
And I will vote for other things.
It feels good to be an independent because you feel like you have control over it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm not just going to vote for something because it says this beside the name.
Right.
Except
I do. But
when the stakes are too high, I will lean one way or the other, right? And that's really what happens to me. I was gonna vote third party in the whatever election it was. What year was that? When it was
Obama?
No, W and
Gore.
No, the next one.
The next one.
W and
Kerry,
yeah. I was going to vote third party in that one, and my ex-wife really leaned hard into me to vote for Kerry, and I was like, I'll do it, but I really feel reservations.
So I do, because I just wrote it down because we create our little outlines, and third party is actually a topic I think we need to discuss in more detail.
Right.
So to your point about so your first election would have been, I was 17 when you did that. So obviously I couldn't. By the next election, I was like a disenfranchised college student, and I was experimenting with anarchy.
Sure.
So I did not vote. The first time I voted in an election was after I graduated from college.
So you just go to election. You just went to the polls and threw a grenade.
Yeah, well, I just
soup for my family.
I just didn't go to the polls. And more importantly, I pretended it was because I was an anarchist, but really it was that I was lazy.
Okay.
I just didn't go do it.
Yeah.
But the first election I remember voting in, I may have voted in
so that would have been 98, the midterms in 98?
That would have been the midterms in 98.
Okay.
So I voted, yeah, exactly. That would have been it. I did not do that because I was an anarchist, but I did vote in the 2000 election, which of course we all know how that ended. I voted for Gore. Gore won the presidency. Gore did not get to be president. And by decree of the Supreme Court. So if I imagine if we could live in an alternate, that's the alternate timeline I want to live in.
The one where
Gore is president.
The 2000
where he did in fact win the presidency and got to have the presidency.
Gotcha.
I don't know that he would have been a great president, to be fair, but
yeah,
we wouldn't be.
I think I realized
here
since
today.
then. No, I'm with you there. I think I've realized since then that he would have just been a shill for some other bullshit.
Kind of to be fair, kind of like a Biden. I voted for Biden. I was fucking ecstatic when Biden won, but he's not a fantastic president. He's sort of a placeholder, and hopefully not a placeholder for Trump again.
I was only ecstatic that the other guy lost.
Yeah,
I wasn't ecstatic that Biden won because he wasn't my choice. Mm-hmm. He was the person I settled for.
Exactly.
Because he was better. He was better than a shit sandwich at the end of the day, right?
Exactly.
That's really what it comes down to.
And that's kind of exactly the president
that's what
he is.
He's better than a shit.
Yeah.
They should put that on the bumper stickers when he runs for re-election.
That's true.
Biden,
that's actually
better than a shit sandwich.
I mean, to be fair, and you know what? If he does run again and that's my bumper, I'm for it.
Listen,
I'm going to vote the shit out of that.
I felt that way until about 2 months ago. And then apparently his fucking agenda finally started rolling out, which I guess is sort of strategic, but it kind of bothers me that we dicked around for fucking 2 years.
Yeah, but it is strategic, obviously. And
then all of a sudden it's I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this. And I'm like, all these things are fabulous, but I don't understand why we had to dick around for 2 years.
The reason is because Mongo is only pawn in Game of Life. We are all it doesn't matter. None of this shit matters.
This is the speaking of none of it matters, this is one of the interesting things. It's the interesting dichotomy in my life is I get very caught up sometimes, especially in politics, where they intersect with existential crises.
Yes.
At the same time, I consider myself kind of a nihilist. I know this is all just a laughable fucking game.
Yeah.
and I have no control over any of it. So it's all just fucking bullshit. Who gives a shit anyway? Which that's gonna be my coping mechanism if it all goes south. Is just, well, it doesn't matter anyway. Who gives a shit?
No. Actually, this is a cover that we really should take our station break. We've been babbling for far too long. But I do want to say, like, here's the thing about Generation X, Gen X. That's who we are, right? Yeah. Gen X is the generation that's like, we're just gonna pretend like we don't exist and hope we're gonna go to the Winchester and have a beer and hope this all blows over. Like we're doing this on purpose, right? And we know, like, we're not gonna change the world, but the world sucks.
But it does suck.
So we're just gonna hope nobody notices us.
We just hope it doesn't suck as much. Yeah. That's really all we hope for. Is like, I mean, and that was kind of to be fair, that was kind of the vote for Biden was the
exactly.
Could it suck a little less, maybe? Like I didn't have big plans for Biden. I really didn't. I just wanted to suck a little less.
Yes.
Or postpone the sucking.
Postpone the sucking at least a few more years, for sure.
Kick that can down the road.
For sure. Yeah, no, so we are totally, like, our approach to politics is textbook Gen X.
Right.
Like, I know this shit is, like, we're going to fucking hell. This shit is terrible.
I mean, yeah.
I'm just pretending like I'm just going to go about my life and, do the little bits I can, but probably not do a whole lot of detailed introspective work.
Yeah.
Because I'm just gonna hope nobody notices me. That's what it is. All right, so we should probably take a station break.
Let's do it.
We wanted to talk about our friend's project today.
Oh yeah.
I would click on the little. It looks like I can play this video, but I cannot.
You shouldn't play. Well, you shouldn't play
also,
this. I mean, listen. I will say, not safe for work.
And I know you have a not safe for, like, you're like, it's not safe for work, whatever. This is fine. It's fine. Kids can hear the F word. I don't care. It's just a word. I've had this conversation with you before.
I'm saying in case your work gives a shit. Like, I don't want you to get fired over my ass.
Also, if you're watching the show at work, maybe you should.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, maybe we're also not safe for work.
But in particular, this is not. But a good friend of ours, Michael Keane, who we've also plugged on the show in the past, is making a fantastic movie, or at least a entertaining movie, Dr. Deathface, A Man and His Carnivorous Bed. So you can imagine what it might be about.
Yeah.
And either way, so they have a Indiegogo, crowdfunding situation.
Right.
They have met their backers, but, obviously.
He just actually, so as of last week, he finished principal photography.
Yes.
He's moving into stage 2, which is editing and sound, I suppose.
Yes.
Anyway, he's now like still, crowdsourcing again for that. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna give him money next paycheck. I like to consider myself I've got 2 or 3 friends who are in the indie film industry, and I always give to their Indiegogos, and so that makes me a film producer, if you will.
Exactly. Well, especially with Indiegogos, right? Sometimes you end up in the credits.
Yeah, you do get like that minor credit thing, but anyway.
I have done that with documentaries. That not only was I a minor credit in the movie, but I was also in cut scenes or like transition scenes in the movie.
Oh,
because the movie was about a subject I'm very so long story. But I was part of the footage.
Oh, okay.
And she left me in on purpose. She told me that. She left me in on purpose, like in a few little like blip scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, that's me. And she's like, I left you in on purpose because you're such a devoted follower of my movie.
Well, anyway, I'm just saying, if you're into like really crazy,
weird ass shit,
weird ass indie horror, Michael Keane, he's doing some crazy stuff out there. He's also got a really great YouTube channel you should follow if you're into that sort of thing, and he'll tell you all kinds of. He reviews like all these like backlogs of the Criterion Collection and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like he actually makes my list of things I should go back and watch like miles longer, and I'm never going to get to any of it.
Yeah. I used to have a thing for him. I don't know why. Oh, you know what? I know why I deleted it. I'll make a new one.
You had a thing for him?
I did. I had
do tell.
What? No, I didn't have that kind of thing for him. No,
I thought it was something salacious.
No.
Really?
I had a station break. I had a station break thing for him. But the reason I deleted it was because he was working for a major outlet, and then he was not working for that outlet anymore. Right.
He was,
and I had the
he was
link
working for Screen
outlet.
Rant for a hot minute, and then now he's not. But
I had that link on there. So.
But he said. I think he said that in some ways it simplified his life not to work for Screen Rant.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Although, the lack of
Screen Rant shit is funny.
Yeah,
it's funny.
I mean, and I watched several of those videos. Anyway, he's a good guy. If you got $15 extra, throw him a bone.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah,
I mean, it beats the hell out of throwing one of these campaign advertisements
as we're constantly talking about. So yeah, check out Dr. Deathface on Indiegogo. Here it is again, so you can check it out. But check that out and donate some money. And I mean, the guy is funny. If you go to Dragon Con, and we always extol his virtues there because he's sort of a minor celebrity at Dragon Con.
Yeah, he does a lot of the news footage or whatever.
Footage. He does all of the wrestling coverage,
right?
And also his first bad B movie gets played on Dragon Con TV every year. And now it's just a cult hit.
Yeah,
and it's funny. It's a bad movie on purpose,
right?
And it's funny that people are like, that's the joke. But yes, and that's called Fatal Future. So
that's the joke.
Exactly. So he's a minor celebrity. All right, let's get back to politics though.
Sure, let's do that.
All right, so let's start out with, I have a lot of visual aids.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's start with these campaign mailers.
Oh my gosh.
So we all know, right? Like, you're getting all the shit in the mail.
Oh my God.
And I kept most of it.
Did you?
Most of it. Well, first of all, we have here.
I can smell the newsprint from over here.
Justice is on the ballot.
Is it?
You might imagine that the people that produce this fake newspaper, you can imagine it says right here, literally says right here, Buncombe County Nonpartisan Voter Guide.
Nonpartisan.
Is it though? It is not.
Who is it produced by?
It is produced by, hold on. No, I actually knew at one point.
Nowhere on here do they even say.
It does not, no. But so it has all the names of all the people doing things. And it's never nonpartisan. I'd like to point out, it's just never nonpartisan.
It's bullshit. The whole idea is bullshit. There's no nonpartisan anything.
So I have I have so many things.
Oh my gosh, you kept them all. You did keep them all. Look at them.
Look, not only did I keep them all, here's the fun part. Because I knew I might be showing them on the show, I redacted our address.
Oh, yeah, very good. Because you don't want people knowing how to get up with you or make threats.
No. Okay, this is my favorite, so I'm going to save that for a second.
Right.
But here I have, this is one of my favorites. So this is okay, to explain this, I'll have to get.
Oh, I got these too. These came to my house. Yeah.
Did they come from two separate organizations? Look, this is one of them is the Center for Voter Information.
I got that one.
With a completely different logo.
Okay.
That was addressed to one of us.
Uh-huh.
The other one is the Voter Participation Center with a completely different logo addressed to the other of us.
Huh.
So, yeah, you can kind of see that there.
And it tells you who at your house voted and who didn't already.
Who at your house voted and who didn't, and who your neighbors voted.
Oh, okay.
Ours has the neighbors too. I redacted that.
Oh, it tell you who your neighbors voted for?
Not voted for. It does specifically say who you vote for is private, but whether or not you vote is public record. So the funny part about this is Matt's.
And he voted.
He voted, except 2018 and 2020. You know why we didn't vote then?
Because you voted out of state.
We were living in Georgia.
Yeah.
And also, if this is based on the address, which it is, there were people living in our house at our address who I am certain
did
voted.
Vote. Yeah.
I guarantee. So we each got the exact same mailer, but you can still see here two completely different logos from two completely different organizations.
I see.
So that's some bullshit. That's right there.
That tells you there's all kinds of creeping going on there.
Exactly. All right. Some of these don't matter because they're individual, individual cards for individual people. Blah, 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 whatever. But
I like it when they're sensational, though. When they tell me like that if I don't vote for this
Yes.
person,
yes,
that some horrible thing's going to happen.
exactly. So these are all just the bullshit, blah, blah, blah. These people. I know who I'm going to vote for. I will tell you one of these mailers isn't going to answer that question for me. But I do have a variety of exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
Important voter information. Save this card. Right? So vote to save our republic.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Imagine how that's
How will I
gonna
save
go.
the republic?
Well, you got to vote for Ted Budd.
Huh. That guy, huh?
That guy. In case he's not the guy I'm voting for.
Yeah.
T-dubs.
He didn't get my vote either.
This has all of the, and it's from the Buncombe County Republican Party, as it turns out.
Save the republic.
Yes.
So that should be your hint.
Correct.
Republican.
Correct. So this is all the people. So what I love about this is a cheat sheet of who not to vote for.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
for me,
it works.
Right?
You know what? I find that sometimes I used to read movie reviews by Roger Ebert, and I found that I did not agree with Roger Ebert 90% of the time, but I still found his reviews helpful because if he really hated a thing, I knew I would really love the thing. Yeah,
exactly.
You know, like so in that regard, if the Republican Party sends me a thing of who to vote for, I know who not to vote for. Thank you very much.
Exactly. No, that is correct. Actually, this one is not a partisan. This is about the land use things. But they do this. You
got some bonds on your ticket, right?
We do. So this tells us to vote yes for them. And to be fair, we will actually vote yes for them.
So I saw a thing down when I was getting off the exit. There was a thing that said, "You vote yes," and what? It said. Wait, what did it say? It was clever. Yeah, you pay, they play.
That's the anti. Yes. So
I knew it rhymed, and when it rhymes, you win, right?
Exactly. So if the glove does not fit, you must acquit.
Right.
That is correct. So vote yes on open space. So there are parks. Parks. Who doesn't like parks? Except apparently conservatives don't like parks.
Oh yeah, because it's tax dollars.
You pay, they play.
They play.
That also they. Yeah.
Those people.
Who the fuck?
Those people. I think
people.
You know who those people are.
Yeah, we all know who those people are.
Right.
So yeah,
we're talking about the Hispanics. They're gonna have a good time at the park.
The brown people in general. Nobody wants.
They'll be having picnics. Quinceañeras.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows?
I don't know.
It's just going to get out of hand. You won't be able to go to a park and see a single fucking white person because they'll be there playing.
Exactly. So, Heather, in Minnesota, the teacher union sent a list of who to vote for. Even though most of them are probably people she wants, the argument is not that these are the people that you should or should not vote for. It's that somebody's telling you what to do.
I get that too.
That's the issue.
You know what? To go back to my monologue even about being a youngster,
right?
90% of the reason why I didn't vote for Bill Clinton in the 92 election,
right,
was because I saw an ad in the back of Rolling Stone magazine that said Michael Stipe says vote Democrat. And I said, motherfuck that guy. I don't give a fuck what Michael Stipe wants. Fuck him.
I actually do like Michael Stipe, but yes. No, but
I actually had beef with Michael Stipe at the time. I've gotten over it over the years.
Yeah, you came to blows, like you and Michael Stipe.
Well, we didn't come to blows, but I had some philosophical differences with him. I felt like he was kind of a pompous asshole.
I mean, he is, but that doesn't necessarily negate that he is, his positions.
Yeah, but he was very outspoken about certain things, but I felt like he didn't put his money where his mouth was.
Yeah.
And I don't like hypocrites at all. Like that's a thing where if you talk a talk, you need to walk the walk, or I'm really gonna get upset with you. Okay, this is in general. Like it's the reason I walked away from Christianity.
Right.
It's the reason I don't know. I walked away from so many things over this.
Right.
I don't like fucking hypocrites, and I felt like Michael Stipe was one of them.
Sure.
So anyway, there was a little ad because I used to read the classifieds in the back of Rolling Stone religiously because they had all kinds of cool shit. You could order like a Pink Floyd T-shirt for $3 or whatever.
Absolutely. Those classifieds are the best.
I got so much shit out of the back of Rolling Stone, but I saw this ad and it just said Michael Stipe says vote Democrat, and I was like, "Fuck this guy, fuck him in the air. I don't give a shit. I'm not doing it. Like, don't tell me what to fucking do, Michael Stipe."
Yeah, so don't put unlikable people as your celebrity endorsements. Although today, if Michael Stipe told me who to vote for, I'd be like, yes.
Really? I would be like, where the fuck have you been for 8 years?
You know,
like, what are you doing?
It would be that, but it would be like, if he believes this enough, maybe it's important to think about. So this is my piece de resistance right here.
Okay, yeah.
This is
I saw this, and this is pretty rich.
The voter guide from the Faith and Freedom Coalition. So one might imagine what that's for. So for U.S. Senate, there are 2 candidates. Conservative Ted Budd, Democrat Sherry Beasley. Sherry Beasley is also a woman of color, which makes her a specific target for a lot of people. My favorite part of the categories, this is telling you who you should vote for and why. So you see these, who's for and against certain things, right?
Yeah.
The top one, the number, I mean, they're alphabetical, but the number, actually, they're not. The number one thing. Abortion on demand. Right.
Like, I'm just driving through the McDonald's drive-thru and I'm like, I'll have an abortion, please.
Right. And frankly, abortion should be on demand. That's literally the problem.
Yeah.
We should be able
if you don't have babies, don't fucking have them.
Reproductive rights are human rights. That's what my shirt says. Like, yeah. If you don't want a child, you don't have to have a child.
I mean, people who raise children they don't want to raise horrible children. Yeah, that's just the half fact. Like
the second one is also particularly fun because it's Biden's Build Back Better plan. Biden's Build Back Better Act.
She's unclear on it.
She's unclear. But the worst part about that is that act already passed, but they changed the name of it.
Oh.
So by sending this out, this came out after that passed. It became the Inflation Reduction Act. It was the same act.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize those were the same thing.
Yeah, well, that's why. That's why.
Okay.
So Sherry Beasley would like us to nationalize elections, the Freedom to Vote Act. But Ted Budd does not want us to do that. We do not want
just mean
freedom.
Like election day off? Is that really what that?
I actually think it has. It's unclear, but I actually think it has more to do with the electoral ballot or electoral college.
Oh, getting rid of the electoral college and having a popular vote, which is also fine with me.
Correct. Yes.
All the electoral college is about was letting the purpose of it was to let slave states have a fucking say
because. Their black population could equal a portion of a person.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
That's what that was about. And so the whole thing is fucking archaic and stupid. And honestly, racist. Montana deserves 2 fucking seats in Congress.
So yes,
let's
the Freedom
be honest.
Coalition does not want freedom. That is correct. Except part of the problem is their marketing makes some people think that that's the opposite.
That's freedom.
That is freedom.
Well, I read something earlier today, actually, a pretty funny, I don't know if you call it a meme. When people repost Twitter posts, that's not really a meme. But it still falls kind of under the
because it's not really I think meme is a fine word.
All right. Well, it said if you think you're for freedom, but you're not for other people's freedom, what you're really for is privilege. Read that again.
Exactly. No, it gets better from here. Voter ID laws, right? So Sherry Beasley is no. Ted Budd is yes. Obviously,
he's yes. We don't want randos showing up saying they can vote. Listen, we've done this for 8 years now or more. Every time they catch anybody fucking fraud in the election, it's always a Republican.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. It does not happen at the level we think it does. My other favorite, there are 2 favorites here. Actually, there are several. I could go through the whole thing. Equality Act, special rights for LGBTQ. Special.
What are they? So they get to jump in front of the line at Chick-fil-A.
Yes, you're gay. Sure, you're trans. Go ahead.
Go right ahead. I'm sorry.
Obviously, I am 100% voting for Sherry Beasley, who is yes, because I like human rights for my fellow humans.
Yes.
Like, that's just a thing I'm for, as it turns out.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing, the other funniest thing on here was this protect girls sports.
Protect girls sports, right. Because that's...
Girls sports.
Yeah, it's misleading on purpose, right?
Protect. So I'm sorry. He's in favor of bigger funding for girls' sports. Is that what he's saying?
No, he's in favor of not allowing trans girls.
Oh, I thought he would mean like the girls' volleyball team would get the same funding that the football team.
That would be great. That would be a.
But he's not really for that. Is that what you're telling me?
No, he's not at all for that.
Oh well.
He is all for preventing trans girls from playing sports.
Well, because they might get in the locker room and want to peep on the other girls.
Yeah, in fact, even in spite of the fact that they are girls,
90% of trans people, as we all know, are just peeping toms, pretending to be women, so that they can look at trans people. By the way, this is me being sarcastic. As a disclaimer.
Yeah. So the best part about this is it bookends it, right? We start out with abortion on demand. And the end, it's taxpayer funding for abortion.
I would rather pay for that than war.
I would rather pay, exactly.
I would rather pay for that than for the local sheriff's department to have an MRAP.
Yes.
Which, in case you don't know, is a military vehicle that has no business on my fucking streets.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? You could disband the local sheriff's department, and I'd be fine with that too.
Yeah, well, that's...
Because ACAB, that's my position.
I like that you get real close to the microphone. You're like, listen to me.
Yes, because this is where I'm at on this whole thing.
But yes, also, because there was a separate conversation, because Michigan right now, as many of our viewers and friends are from Michigan, abortion rights are on their ballot. Like it's actually on the ballot to codify.
This is one of the laziest fucking legislation thing. I wanted to talk about this too, and I forgot to send you a thing to say, hey, let's mention this. But fucking referendums.
Yes.
Is there a lazier way to legislate anything than fucking a referendum to say basically like it's a way for the fucking lawmakers to wash their hands of it because they don't want to deal with it. It's too hot an issue for us to deal with. We'll just put it on the ballot. And in putting it on the ballot, we'll make it a hot button issue that makes our people come out and vote. That's kind of what it is. It's sort of an advertising scheme, if you will, to get a certain side to go vote.
Yeah.
But it's like it's lazy legislation because it's basically you don't want to take the heat for voting against a thing. You want to just let the people do it.
Yeah.
And in my experience, the people vote the wrong fucking way on it. They just turn around and grab it back and vote for however they want to vote for it anyway. So it's not even fucking binding.
Exactly.
It's the most bullshit thing I've ever seen in my life. And whenever I see a ballot initiative or whatever the fuck you want to call it, I'm just like, yeah. What a bunch of lazy fucking legislation. Like you people just don't want to do your goddamn job. No,
that's 100% true. And because abortion rights to be codified in Michigan are on the ballot this year in Michigan. Obviously, a lot of my friends and family are still in Michigan, so I'm seeing a lot of this, right? And honest to God, on a friend's Facebook post, a very pro-choice friend posted about this proposal about what it is and what it isn't in a very clear and concise manner. And some fucker decided to argue about it. But their argument was, well, this is all being supported by big abortion money.
Big abortion.
I'm like, what the fuck is big abortion?
Big abortion. You know, the place I was talking about earlier. You just drive through and you say, I'd like an abortion, please. And they say, come around, it'll be $17.50.
Exactly. No, if big
actually,
abortion,
it'll be free. It's free with taxpayer dollars.
Exactly.
Just drive around. Drive around to the next window. We'll get your baby taken out of you.
Exactly. So, like, I'm thinking if big abortion had all the money this person said it did, we wouldn't be in this position today.
Right.
It wouldn't happen.
Because all you dumb shits would have been aborted.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to listen to this nonsense.
Exactly.
Right?
So, all right. So those are campaign mailers, but you had some campaign texts.
I've been, oh my God. They text and email me on the daily.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Everybody.
Oh my God. They've been driving me fucking nuts. Friend, what does it say? Friend, Barack Obama is sprinting to elect Raphael Warnock.
I mean,
Catherine Cortez Masto and Mandela Barnes. So we have a major prediction.
Wow, that's a lot.
And then it's blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
this is like 7 paragraphs here.
Yeah.
And they want me to click on a thing and donate $5.
Yeah, I'm not going to click on a thing in my text. No matter what.
Anyway, I've given my money for this election, and I've told them, actually, like 2 weeks ago, I started getting texts. I was probably a week ago. I gave my last money about a week ago. And then I was like, the next text I got after that, I was like, I gave all the money I'm going to give this election cycle. Please fuck off. Like, use the money I gave you to advertise instead of pestering me.
Right.
Please.
Yes.
You know? And I don't know what they're fucking doing with it. I don't know. Like, and I'm like, but then since then, I've been like unsubscribing from email chain, you know, like nope, I don't want to hear any more about it. I don't care. Fuck off. You'll either win or you like at this point, you've reached the people you're going to reach.
You voted, you donated. At this point, yeah. What
I can't listen.
You can't do anything.
I can't control the people. If people in Pennsylvania think Dr. Oz is the guy for Pennsylvania,
do not think that. Do not think that.
I'm not saying. But listen, I can't control.
That's true.
My $5 ain't going to change the minds of people in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Right. Like. So I'm just sick of it. Fucking like knock it off. Quit bothering me. Dr. Oz will win or lose come the end of the day tomorrow.
Yep.
And I will say this about the Dr. Oz versus Fetterman election. And I have a lot of friends in Pennsylvania, by the way, or the Penn Del Mar area.
Right.
If Dr. Oz wins in Pennsylvania, I don't ever want to catch shit out of anybody in Pennsylvania talking shit about Southerners ever again about our politics down here, because you dipshits elected Santorum, you know, like
and a fucking snake oil salesman.
Frank Rizzo, like it's not like you have your share of fucking brilliant goddamn politicians up there. So I'm tired of hearing Northeasterners act like they're so fucking superior to Southerners over their politics when they constantly get like this kind of snake oil bullshit, and they go, okay, why not? Fuck it. I'll vote for it. I don't love it. You know? Okay. Well, then obviously it's not a geographical issue. It's like the dipshits live everywhere.
Exactly. That's correct. So you mentioned a thing, right? So you've already voted.
Yes, I did. I voted early, yes.
So we do want to talk about just voting in general. I have not yet. I will go vote tomorrow.
Oh, you like to vote on election day?
I do. And I think we talked about this on a previous show, whether it was the things that are extra, or I think we had an election special a few years ago. I do in part because, one, when I used to work a corporate job, I was allowed to come in late if I went to vote in the morning. So I was fucking taking advantage of that.
I see. Okay.
So I went and voted. But even here, and even though I work for myself, my voting precinct is a block that way.
Oh, well, that's fair.
It's actually more convenient for me to go on voting day than to go early.
I get that, and were that the case, I might would vote on voting day too.
Yes, and I get that that's not the case.
I think actually my voting precinct is closer to my house than the place I vote early.
But it still might not be convenient.
It's not necessarily convenient, right. and it is at a church, which I always feel like is sort of politically charged.
I agree with that, and in general, I have problems with that. But I voted the Unitarian Church, which is aligned with my political beliefs.
That's fine.
So I'm totally fine with that. I'm like,
I get you there. That's
Unitarians.
That's fine. No, mine's at a Baptist church somewhere out in the boonies near my house. I would rather just go to the Flat Rock Town Hall to vote, which is where I usually go. And here's the thing: if you vote early, also my other thing I like about voting early is I walk right in. I'm one of the two people there.
Although I'll tell you, when we vote here, and I know people here vote, I know it because I know what neighborhood we live in. Yeah. But for some reason, because I guess everybody does early voting. So for some reason, it's just clear sailing.
You walk in dead on election day.
Yup, for sure. Okay. I've never had a long wait.
The only time last time I remember voting on election day, Jesus, I was living up in Woodfin. And I went to vote on election day. And I went in, and I remember this, and this is one of the things I said I was going to double back around to. And I went in, and there was nothing but a bunch of local elections, actually. There was no national election. There was no state election. There was only local stuff.
Oh, yeah, we do that sometimes, like in February.
Or March. Something like that. It was one of those. It was one of those things. Yeah. And I went in, and it was all a bunch of local stuff, and it was all uncontested. Like, it didn't matter if you voted or didn't vote. Right. And I really, that's one of the things I wanted to speak on was I fucking hate uncontested elections. Right. What's the point? I wrote myself in for soil and water commissioner in Henderson County because I fucking hate uncontested elections. No, honest to God, our sheriff election in Henderson County was also uncontested. It was just a Republican, no Democrat running. So obviously, I guess I knew who's going to fucking win.
Right.
And I already said ACAB, and I don't like the sheriff's department, so fuck off. Y'all can die in a fire. I don't give a shit. But anyway, that being the case, like. I actually every uncontested election where it was a Republican who was uncontested, I just skipped that particular. I refused to vote for that person. Fuck them. I'm not voting for them, and I moved on. But then when I got to Soil and Water Commission, there were two people, and it said vote for two. And I was like, well, this is dumb as fuck. So I put my name in.
I usually put Bill the cat if I do that. I rarely do it, to be honest.
Well,
Bill the
I've actually
for
years. I used to tell people on election day when I used to work in an office, like where I was around people. I would always tell them on election day, I'd be like, "Hey, did you vote yet?" And they'd be like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, listen, I'm doing a silent write-in for Soil and Water Commissioner. So when you go to vote, write me in, okay?" And then I just thought it'd be funny because on election night they'd get like 6 votes for Bill Perkins.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Like, who the fuck is this guy?
He wasn't even running. No, in fact, that's so the one thing, I did all my homework. I looked at everything that I needed to look at. For the most part, the ballot makes it very easy because there's a little D or a little R right next to their name, and I know exactly how I'm going to vote. The one thing that is super, like some of the other things are supposed to be nonpartisan, but you still see that little D or R, right?
Right.
But the one thing that truly is nonpartisan is school board.
School board, yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And I also don't have a horse in this race, right?
Like, I also don't have a horse because I
vote in Henderson County.
I vote in Henderson County, and every kid I know goes to school in Polk County.
Right.
Which is where, so this is I live in sorry.
That's the microphone.
Oh my God. I live in a weird place where I'm like 2 minutes from the county line. And so they give us a choice of where kids are allowed to go to school. And so the kids who live in my household, or the kids I give a shit about, all go to Polk while I live in Henderson County.
Right. But so you're in a weird part of your like city that's under, like it's really weird.
I'm not in the city limits.
Yeah, you're not at all. But you're in this little sliver of a different county.
I'm in a little sliver of Henderson County that's like between Polk County and the state line. Anyway, it's all very weird. So I knew nothing going into the school board election. And so I have a tendency when I don't know anything about going into a school board election or any election, if sometimes judges are nonpartisan, but
right. Yeah, they're non, but they are.
But this time they actually differentiated. They actually told you. But sometimes they're not. If I don't know anything going into them, I have a tendency to default to the most female or minority sounding names that are on the ballot. If that makes any sense.
To be fair, I don't think that's a bad strategy in most cases.
When I don't know, I'm like, I'm like, well, this sounds like the most not white guy.
Exactly. No, that's what. So I don't have a particular horse in the race in our Buncombe County schools or Asheville City schools, but the one thing I was concerned about, right? Or well, there's several things I was concerned about. Like I did not want to inadvertently elect somebody who was don't say gay, anti-trans rights, right? Anti-critical race theory. Protect girls sports. Yes, exactly. So I did my homework and I read it, but that's the thing about our city as opposed to Henderson County. Our city in Asheville, because this is Asheville specific, it's all progressives. Mm-hmm. So even the worst person is just less progressive. Yeah, exactly. So I actually
he's like for it, but he don't want to give any money to it.
Right. So I made the choice, and I will vote tomorrow, but I made the choice as far as school board goes, because I don't care which of them get elected. They all seem to progressive enough to be fine. I'm just going to skip that section, to be fair. Okay. Like, I'll let other people.
Let people who give a shit.
Yeah. If I had found someone who was fair. Like, I would have voted against that person.
And I will say that's one of those things, like, that I commend you for that, because it's one of those things I don't like. People are always like, it doesn't matter who you vote for. It just matters that you vote. And I say, well, I mean, listen, I think voting is important and it's your right and you should go out and vote. However, I don't really approve of uneducated voting.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. And I even educate.
And so when I have to vote for a race that I don't know anything about, I feel stupid too, and I'm like, ugh, I hate that I'm having to pick this.
Yeah.
So if you can skip it,
I did. You know,
then. Or like you said, if you don't have a dog in the fight, like fucking skip it. Like that's actually more important to me because why put your 2 cents in if you don't know what the fuck you're doing?
And honestly, if I had found something egregious, if I had found something that I was truly against what I believed, I would have voted.
Like, but if I get elected, I'm going to burn all the books in the library.
Yeah, no, I would have voted for everybody who's not that person. Like, it wouldn't have mattered. But at this point, it's kind of everybody's,
pretty
mostly
cool.
Everybody seems pretty okay. So
it's like you just vote for the cooler
and I
person.
totally get that people with kids in the school district may have different opinions, but
absolutely.
I don't.
But
so
you don't.
They
doesn't
can
matter
vote
to
for
you.
that. Exactly.
And that's kind of how I felt voting in the like I said, in the Henderson County, because I don't have any stake in it. I don't give a shit. I don't have any kids going to Henderson County. I don't care what happens over there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, aside from the fact that I guess that might be a breeding ground for future politicians.
Right, sure.
You
and
might go on to something else. I mean, sometimes it is, and sometimes it's just.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's half and half because sometimes it's concerned parents.
Sure.
Like half the people who run for school board are just concerned parents who have children in the system.
And then sometimes it's like 19-year-old kids who want to make a name for themselves.
He's running as D's nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Also that. All right. So
by the way, I fully support your position to vote for D's nuts in the election.
I mean, in the case of Water and Soil Commissioner, do that.
Do write in D's nuts. If you don't like Bill Perkins, vote for D's nuts.
Yeah. So, all right. So
I should have done that instead.
That would have been great. Okay. Before we close the show, before we have Bill Has a Pizza, this one you brought up later in the day, single issue voters.
Oh, God. Oh my God. Single issue voters are like the worst people fucking ever. Like, can you vote for a fucking single issue? Really?
No, it's some bullshit, right? Because right, what we equate single issue voters with is abortion rights, right?
100%.
So
yes.
There are nobody.
There's no other single issue, right?
Nobody votes for LGBTQ rights
or environmental protection.
I mean, frankly, I would
climate change.
I guess I could see myself as a single issue voter but I'm not because I'm
No, I'm not either because every time anybody
the things
if I get a political survey and it tries to make everything black and white, I'm always like, I don't know how to fucking answer this, man. I'm not this person. I don't do black and white. I'm a gray guy.
Exactly.
There's no, they're like, they'll give you 18 things. Like, what's the most important thing in this election? And I'm like,
all of that?
I don't know. All of it's pretty important, man. It's like, that's an existential crisis.
No, but the only people I know who are single issue voters are all anti-abortion.
That's it. Yes.
Part of the issue with that is it's the marketing of the thing, right? That pro-life has created this amazing marketing campaign.
I have read something interesting that said that the whole thing about it, and this is the thing, it's an easy thing to advocate for the unborn because you're never gonna have to deal with them.
Yes.
Because
once they're born, nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit. So that's the thing. It's basically like there's no fallout from your support for the unborn, right? Whereas anything else you support, there's probably another side to it where you're gonna have like repercussions because I wanted there to be I don't know, like affordable housing. Oh, now there's affordable housing right down the street from my house. Oh shit. Now my neighbors are pissed off because low income people live down the street. Oh my God. But there's no fucking the unborn, they can't speak out for themselves.
Right.
They they're not really a fucking demographic at all.
Right. Yeah, because they're not people. And they're not people for 18 years. Like they can't have a vote, right? So
yeah, it's a fucking bullshit position.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking it's basically a high fives, feel good. Oh, I protected the unborn. Yeah. It's not like, well, did you adopt anybody? No, I didn't. Okay. Did you foster anybody? No, I didn't. Okay. Well, then you did absolutely dick nothing, didn't you?
Right. And people like to pretend that, because a lot of the things I'm seeing right now, especially with the Michigan vote, because I know so many people there, part of the problem is the states that had trigger laws, right? The states that had the trigger laws that went into effect as soon as Roe v. Wade was overturned, which is bullshit, by the way. But as soon as it was overturned, like, they are extreme, and a lot of them are extremely extreme. Like, if extreme could be more extreme.
Yeah. Like, 9-year-old got raped by her uncle. Fuck it.
She's gotta have a baby. 9-year-old's got to have that baby. And it also affects...
and uncle gets rights to visit the baby.
Yeah.
That too.
Fucking absolutely right. And yeah, women who have ectopic pregnancies, they're in the states that have the very... I mean, the people in Michigan are trying to argue that that's not the case. Sure, it's not the case in Michigan. And if you want to make this a states' right thing, which I also think is bullshit, by the way, a human right cannot be a states' right. It's a human right. We have a human right. But anyway, that, like, yeah, so it might not be the thing that's going to trigger in Michigan, but in Tennessee it is. In Texas it is. So ectopic pregnancies, miscarriages.
Yeah.
In many cases, if you have a miscarriage that doesn't complete, if you want to talk about the science of it, you just might die of sepsis or infection because they can't follow through on that miscarriage that you've already had. This is not a baby.
The baby's already dead.
There's no baby.
There's a corpse inside of you.
There's zero baby. there's negative baby. And
you're carrying a corpse this big.
Yes.
And they can't do anything about it because,
and so you die of infection.
Be considered an abortion.
Yes.
Yes.
And I mean, our fans, whatever. I had that experience, and I'm grateful that I could have a medical intervention for it, because otherwise I might be dead right now, and I don't know.
I don't know if you saw the latest episode. I don't watch the show, but I'm in the room when the show is on. Grey's Anatomy, the last episode had exactly, and usually they pull their storylines from the headlines.
Sure.
It was about a woman who lived in a state where she couldn't get an ectopic pregnancy dealt with.
Yes.
And she had to go across state lines.
You can bleed out in that instance.
Yeah, and that's what happened. She bled out and she died.
Yeah.
Dealing with it.
Yeah.
And listen, I mean,
that's why this
ectopic pregnancy is not viable. It will never, ever be a baby.
No.
In any circumstance.
Yeah, you think a baby will grow in your liver? It will not grow in your liver.
And also, on top of that, like 80% of fucking pregnancies wind up in the goddamn toilet.
Yeah, without even knowing.
Well, you don't even know it. So clearly, God's will is that most, if that's what we care about, is God's will.
Yeah.
Most pregnancies are not God's will. He clearly wants most of them not to happen.
Yeah.
Or he wouldn't have that happen. And also, he clearly makes a case. First off, the Jews believe that life does not happen until you draw your first breath. Secondly,
I mean,
I'm saying,
disagree with that.
If that's what we were basing our feelings on, is this particular 2,000-year-old book of fairy tales?
Yeah, where Christianity began.
Well, then, also, aside from that, clearly in several cases, he makes the point for infanticide when it's some party that he doesn't care for. So
yeah, no, exactly.
I don't think the preciousness of infant life is high on Yahweh's list of
an infant
things.
I mean, that's pretty. Yeah, exactly.
Also, even Jesus, even if you want to get into like the
Jesus, no pun intended.
Not talking about Jesus, but like my great grandmother who had like 9 or 10 kids, I don't know how many, but then lost like 3.
Sure.
Nobody gave a fuck back then. Like it was like you expected to lose 3 or 4.
Your baby died.
Yeah, he stuck a pee up his nose. He caught pneumonia or polio or whatever the fuck kids died of back then.
Yeah.
No,
I apparently had an uncle I never knew that died before my dad was born.
Right?
Because that's what happened.
That's what happened. You had a load of kids. And this is why your great grandmother was always like a hard, like we always regarded your great grandmother like she was kind of a hard woman because she lost like 4 kids. Like she basically had to like, I don't give a fuck about these kids because I'm going to lose half of them.
Exactly. Yes. So Heather, it's a great way to close the show. Everybody vote. It makes a big difference.
It sure does.
Do that if you have not already.
Make an educated vote. I will say that caveat to Heather, but educated. Know what the fuck you're voting for.
Yes. So I will go and vote tomorrow but I would have voted ahead of time if it weren't more convenient. But if you have not yet voted early or absentee, vote tomorrow for sure.
Get out there and do it.
It's gonna make a big
otherwise you'll be kicking yourself. If it goes the way you don't want it to go, you'll be like, yeah, I should have done the damn thing.
Exactly. So do it before you can regret it. Yeah, for sure. All right. So
the last time you'll get to regret it.
until we're a complete apocalypse. All right. So that's it for the show. We will be back next week, and I am 99% sure I know what next week says.
Do you?
Wait, I don't know. While you close the show, why don't I find out for sure?
Okay.
All right. You
do that.
Take us away.
All right. Bill Has Opinions is engineered and produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions of Bill are his and his alone, unless Laura agreed with them, in which case, they both agreed, and it's probably both their opinions. They're definitely not the opinions of Michael Keane and his crazy horror movies.
Sometimes they are.
I mean, you never know.
For all we know.
I don't know. I watch this horror movie and see what you think. Maybe he does line up with us. Otherwise, what else? Be sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and follow us on Facebook. If you talk about us, hashtag Opinion Gang. Send us some email. Ask us a question. We love to answer questions. Mailbag, whatever you want to call it. Otherwise, catch us next week at the same time.
And I did find out what our episode is.
And we'll be talking about
Christmas Creep.
Christmas Creep. Oh, okay. The war.
What is a Christmas Creep?
I know what it is. It's that if we want to talk about the war on Christmas, we can't get rid of the war on Christmas until Christmas ends its occupation of November.
Yes. Yes. That is correct. So yes, we're going to talk about that next week. And so we will all see you then.
Yes.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.